Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to another First Impressions review. So this time we're looking at a game that looks a whole lot like Frogger or My Own Poggers from back in 2019 that I released. Now, the only reason I released and developed Poggers back in 2019 was because I remember looking to show a friend a game like Frogger. And I went to Steam. I figured there'd be at least like 20 different indie versions of two-dimensional Frogger. But when I couldn't find anything like old school two-dimensional Frogger on Steam, I decided that, my own version of Frogger would definitely be made. And I got right to work on it, and that's when and why I developed what is now known as Poggers. As we can see, Bun Poggers, and you see that I made one of my first versions of a game, kind of like old school Frogger, except you're a little bunny rabbit and you can collect carrots and kung fu the flashing snakes in the field. And then you have a river just like old school Frogger to jump across and get your bunny rabbits into. You can get the pink bunny and get an extra life if you get her home, etc. But this game comes in at $2.99, so this is probably what I'm going to be comparing this new game too. So we have Anivenge, an arcade-style game where you play as an animal hopping around a road trying to crash cars. So there's a unique twist on Frogger. Work your way through different levels or play in survival mode. How many can you crash before you're run over? So this definitely looks like another unique idea to the old, Frogger formula. In my game, I used cobras instead of cars, and I made you get the ability by getting carrots when you get a bunny home to kung fu the cobras down to the field. Definitely unique and something that was never offered in old school Frogger. And this game, they are making it so you're trying to wreck the cars and then survive as long as you can. So this definitely looks interesting. It is early access. Seems a little bit on the high side at $4.99. But I don't know how many levels there are. 30 levels right here. It says 3 different hazards over 30 levels, and they plan to make possibly as many as 70 more levels, 2 more special vehicles, more background music, etc. But promises made in early access are never guaranteed, especially if the developer isn't getting any sales or support on his game. So we look at looks like Fiery Aspen Studios. This is their first title on Steam. And we're going to go ahead and check it out right now. Without further ado, we'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. We see that this game launches with a Unity loading screen and Anivenge. So we can play levels, we can go to settings. I've already turned the volume way down. Let's go ahead and turn it up so we can at least hear it. Sound effects is probably good right there. You have the option to just mute it as well. And first level play, sure. You also have a survival mode, you have high scores, and you have help. Alright, let's go ahead and play the levels. Tutorial 1, picking up and dropping hazards. Okay. The concept of the game is simple. You are the frog. You collect road hazards and then drop them in the road to make the cars crash. You complete a level by crashing a certain number of fancy cars. Crashing other cars will add some points and block at least one lane. This tutorial introduces the oil hazard, picking up a can and drop an oil slick to make cars spin out. Controls use arrow keys to move, or WASD I'm sure, and the number keys to drop hazards. In this level, you'll only use one. Press P to pause. You have infinite lives in the tutorials, but the points don't count towards the total game point. Oh wow. It's a lot more zoomed in than I was expecting it to be. Okay, grab an oil. I don't know which are the fancy cars. I guess the fancy cars are the yellow ones? Okay. Oops. 1. Oh, I see it. Oh, I got killed. We're over here on the safe ground. What? I don't like that. Alright. Okay. Hang on. Let's, let me... How do I get out of here? Escape is not working. Enter, escape. There's no way to escape the game? Okay, well, let's just kill ourselves then. Well, it says we have infinite lives. How do we get out of here? The controls are really floaty. Like, you hit a button. I'm just trying to see if he's moving the same... Yeah, sometimes he's moving further. Okay, I am just tapping my A button, for example. I tap my D button. And sometimes he's going like twice as far. It seems like. Well, maybe not. Yeah, see right there? It just got out of control. And I was not tapping it. It just got out of control. So, the game has a problem clearing your, you know, the memory of what key you pressed, it looks like. The game is definitely not perfect. The controls are extremely floaty. And you gotta watch the hell out when there's a wreck, because if you're anywhere near a spinning car, you're gonna be dead. Okay, let's go back to the main menu. Let's turn the music volume up, because I could barely hear it. It looks like the music volume is a lot louder in the menu than it is the game. Okay, so let's go back here now. Let's go tutorial 2. This level has 2 different hazards, a ramp and tacks. You can see how many of you have in the upper right corner, along with which keys to drop them. Each hazard affects the car differently. To try each one to see what it does, you can safely go under a car after it hit a ramp and before it lands. There is also a greater variety of cars, but the only one that counts for completing the level is the fancy car. I guess the yellow one. Yeah, that's what makes sense. Okay. Okay. Well, let's try out the nails or whatever. 2. Oh god. Yeah, you gotta watch the fuck out. Because if that spinning car hits you, you're fucking dead. Okay. Up. He has a big old squash look. See what happens. Oh wow. That's kind of cool. Oh, oh. Causing the chaos is actually kind of fun. Watching the cars spin out because of what you do. It's a very interesting idea. But we only get points for the fancy cars though, so no use putting shit in front of these red and yellow cars. Okay. Yikes! That's cool. Alright. I feel like the controls, you definitely get used to them. But they're a lot more floaty than I expected. It's almost like the frog weighs nothing. Oh god. That time he just got really flat. Simple idea, but it actually works pretty good. I gotta be honest, guys, I figured this would be like a miss video when I first saw it on Steam. I figured, oh no, this is gonna be complete garbage. And while it's not quite as good as you would hope, there is some fun to be had here, I feel like. Ah! Okay. Next level. Tutorial 3, changing lanes. Sometimes when the frog jumps in front of the car, the driver will decide to turn into another lane to avoid it. This only happens when the car is close enough the driver is worried about hitting the frog, but far enough that they think they can avoid it safely. Expect these drivers, but these drivers aren't very good at checking for traffic in the other lane and are prone to crashing, so they're basically going to crash to try to keep from running you over. Drivers in different worlds will avoid, or drivers in different levels will avoid at different distances, and some won't avoid at all. In this tutorial, there are no hazards. Instead, try timing your jumps to land in front of cars to make them steer into the other lane, and hopefully into another car. Okay, so we just get to cause trouble. Man, that's bumper-to-bumper traffic right there, ain't it? My gosh. So there he goes. He dodged it. Yep, he fucked that guy up. So we got a point. He dodged in there, but they're both still driving. That's kind of weird. So I guess you got to stay in front of them long enough to really cause them to... What the hell? Okay. I need a good crash. There we go. There's a good crash. Okay. Gotcha. Tutorial 4, putting it all together. Here's your chance to see the 3 main hazards and all that exists at this point, along with the driver avoidance enabled, and a more variety of cars. Cars are still going slow, giving you a chance to experiment with making multiple cars crash with a single hazard, playing with car avoidance, and more. Okay. This is actually a really good idea. To the developer who made this, I like the creativity here. So we got 5 points for that. He could have crashed that guy, but it didn't quite work. There we go. Oh, we got to get 4 more. Okay. Well, I'm not putting it all together quite yet. There we go. Now we got 3 more. There we go. Ah! 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 Ooh, that was close. That was actually fun. Alright. Music is good for the game. Welcome to the first level of the game. Unlike the tutorials, you'll have limited lives and points that do count towards the game score. So hop into the road and do your best to crash up those fancy cars. Remember, you can hit P to pause the game. Oh, so now we're... I like this. Now we're not zoomed up so much. Okay. I wish the controls were not so floaty. And honestly, the floaty controls, guys, is something that I felt noticed in a lot of 2D games that are made with Unity. It's why I don't use a Unity for 2D games, even if I could. You know, I make 2D games. I use GameMaker. It's just the games that I make, they feel a lot less floaty to me. I know I've played a couple of like space shooters or space games that have been made in Unity, or more than a couple, a lot. And they always seem like they're really floaty, and I don't like the controls. Even in outer space, they feel floaty, you know, for a space game. And right here, you can definitely feel the floatiness of the controls. I just feel like if this game was made in GameMaker, it would just have a lot tighter controls, or even in Unreal, or probably Godot as well. Just Unity, for whatever reason, doesn't seem like it does a good job at making tight controls in a 2D game. And I continue to feel the same way. I'm curious if any of you, anybody out there also feels the same way. We got some oil. There we go. Okay, we were trying to crash up the fancy cars. We're not worried about these guys. There we go. Aha! Yeah! Yeah, this is definitely a lot different than old school Frogger, and definitely a lot different than my own game, Poggers, for sure. We need to crash up one more. Die! Yeah! Alright! So we got 6,228 points. We are on level 5 now. Keep in mind that the first 4 levels were tutorials. So the cars are speeding up now, making this game more fun. Ah! God damn it. There goes one of my frogs. No more infinite lives in the main game here. I like how I can jump faster than a car. God damn it. I am fucking up. Ah! The controls are just too floaty. And again, guys, I hate to say it, but I felt this way with so many Unity 2D games over all the years I've been reviewing games. Unity is not the engine to make these 2D games in. Now, if you're talking like a kind of a top-down, what is it, like half 2D and a half or whatever, game or whatever, those work fine in Unity. 3D games work great in Unity. But I think Unity sucks at 2D games just because the controls always feel so goddamn floaty. I don't like Unity for 2D games. As far as this game here, I think you'll get used to it if you play it enough. It's a hell of a lot better game than I thought it would be going in. Anivenge is definitely not the miss video that I was scared it might be. I think $4.99 is too high for what you have here. I would encourage the developers to drop the price down to $1.99 or $2.99, something like that. I think you'll get a lot more sales. As you can see, this is your first review, and this game came out a day or two ago. So I would definitely consider dropping the price a little bit to the developer. But, you know, the game is pretty fun. I just wish the controls were a little bit tighter. I wish they didn't have those floaty controls. And I don't think this is the developer's fault. This is something, I just feel it so many times, the Unity thing. And I don't know what can be done about it. But maybe some people like 2D games fine made in Unity. Maybe they don't feel the floatiness of the controls. But I definitely feel the floatiness of the controls. And it shows up big time here for me. Overall, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give this game I would give it like a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. Because I do think there's a lot of fun to be had here. But the price is too damn high. So because of the price, I'm going to penalize the developer a little bit. And I'm going to knock this score down to a 6 out of 10. I think that's a pretty fair score for this game. I think there's fun to be had. I hate the floaty controls, and I hate the $5 price tag, to be honest. But other than that, it is what it is. It's a pretty decent game, and it's a very admirable first game for this developer on Steam. So I look forward to seeing what this developer comes out with next. And, I would encourage them, if they're going to continue to make 2D games, to check out GameMaker. I just feel like the controls in GameMaker, the code or whatever it is, I don't know, the physics, whatever it is, GameMaker just produces a lot better feeling two-dimensional games. So that is what it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.